So I'm just a little old content creator. What, 1,500 plus subscribers? That ain't nothing. So nobody's going to listen to me, and I get it, man. You got to earn that trust over time, and guys like Nick Runs the Foot Market, Inception, Boris, these other guys, they've been doing it for a long time, and over that time, they've gained a huge following and a huge amount of trust. Sometimes too much. I'm not saying in this case, even though this, just like the gameplay, just like the issues with the servers, I've been talking about this for months. Notice that now that I'm over at eFootball, it's been a little bit, not too long this time, but what did I say when I left after getting a rank 3 with a full evolution squad, trying to breathe life into a dead game? Go back and look at my posts and other videos talking about FC being a dead game. And you have the trolls that will say, you're just not good enough, excuses, this and that. Even though for what would still be considered a casual player, right? I'm not able to do this full time because I don't have the following these big guys have. But playing in the FC Pro events, right? Winning tournaments, playing in high levels, getting ranks 2 and 3, including with the full evolution squad. These are things that a vast majority of players across the world, the millions, can't do, right? When I accomplish what I accomplish, this is something that's up there as far as like the top percentages of the players. So I'm proud of that. But why I'm saying that is because me talking about the game being dead and me trying to breathe life into it by doing an all evolution squads and just trying to actually play football in a game where actual football doesn't exist, right? Which is why I ultimately left. These are all just facts, whether the trolls want to admit it or not, whether people want to accept the fact that I play at a high level or not when it's all out there, right? So whether I have 1,500 subscribers or not, whether that's impressive to some or not, I don't care. I do this for the love of football, and each one of my subscribers I'm appreciative of and wouldn't change it for the world, right? Now at eFootball, I actually get to enjoy the true feeling of why we play this game, which is to emulate the beautiful game and to play in a way that we can't in real life because we're not, the same level as these legends and some of our favorite players that we get to control in these games and teams full of these players, professional level teams translated to a football game, right? That's why we love the game. But when EA Sports turns it into the worst arcade version of football and adds so much nonsense, the game and all the magic that it had for all these years, for many of us, we've been playing for years, right? It's just gone. And we're going to listen to someone who does have a big following talk about this because it will be interesting to see the feedback and how much different it is just because of that subscriber number being much higher than mine. So let's get into it.
Do that, right? Is that something that the more we play these other games that, allow you to play with your friends, is that something ultimately that EA is just completely missing the mark on? I don't really know, but, it's a weird time on the RTG. Like, I love creating content every day, and you guys know me, bro. I feel like we're one of the only people that still uploads daily gameplay on this game. And I think it's because we play this game nice. We try out new cards. We do get a bit of like gameplay in the games that we're scoring nice goals. If you're watching the games recently, we're cooking. This year I'm cooking. I mean record wise, guys, I have one of the best records I have had on FC or FIFA ever. Like, I do feel like there's a lot of skill gap when it comes to the PC side of things with gameplay, but something just feels missing with this game. And it's funny because like the game modes are really good. The game modes are really good. Is it the fact that, the market's in a weird spot because the market just kind of crashes every week now because of the new promos and the way that EA runs that market? Oh my god, my controller is literally like just tweaking. I don't really know, guys, but it's a weird time on this RTG because I feel like I'm making the content daily, but when I play this game, to me, playing this game this year, it feels so lonely. Like, I don't know what it is about this game, but when I play it, I play it for a bit, and I do enjoy it, but I feel like something is missing. Like, I just feel empty inside when I play the game. So, it's not that I'm not enjoying making content because I love making content, and I love...
Well, my friend, let me answer this for you. For one, you're playing on 6 ping. We all see it, and we all, even if you didn't have your ping shown, we all see how much better your gameplay is than a vast majority of us, right? So that right there, especially when, if you're someone like me that's been breaking this stuff down, and I can see where your opponents are totally lagged out. Not taking away from you because it's not your fault, but it's hard to believe that you don't recognize this, and I think it's irresponsible that you don't call this out because it's something that EA Sports needs to fix. Again, not your fault, but if you would call this out and even show like I do when my opponents can't move, right? Then other players will understand what they're going through because some don't, as crazy as it sounds. And so they'll think it's a skill issue, but clearly their opponent's just moving faster than them, which is why it feels like they can't breathe when they get the ball, whereas their opponents have tons of time to make decisions, where even when they get shots off, their opponents have a ton of extra time to move their keepers because everything on them is delayed and their opponents aren't. And a lot of the times that's happening with Nick, but he's on the better side of it because he's flying around the pitch with next to no delay, and his opponents can barely move, right? You see it all the time. If you don't believe me, open up his streams, watch his games. Now, the game play for FC is so fast, not football like at all, that you have to really know what you're watching to see the difference, because you would think an opponent's moving just like Nick, it's fine, but when you know what you're looking for, you can see that delay, and even just the slightest delay more than your opponent is going to hurt you, right? So that's the first thing I want to say, not to take anything away from Nick, but it's just facts, right? Nick has way better gameplay than most, and it helps him out with that record and how well he's doing. But even with all that, you hear him, it's still empty. And that's the reason, what I've been saying for months, the game is not football. Yes, I love the fact that there's so much manual control, and I wish Konami would adopt that manual control, right? The defensive system, the manual defense, the ability to send players on runs, call them too. You don't need player lock because player lock is only necessary when gameplay is terribly delayed, right? Which also affects your AI movement. Your players will just be standing around, so you have to use player lock. It's something that I wish we didn't even need, but more control, manual control, is better than more AI control easily, because you want to play your opponent and see who's better. And when the AI fills in the gaps, like in eFootball, many of the times these low skilled players get off, that get let off the hook. So I love the manual aspect, but it doesn't mean that it's football, because you're moving at 100 miles an hour. It's like air hockey. It's like air hockey combined with ice hockey, right? Because the way you're flying around, it's like you're floating / skating, and you just run around in circles so you can get an open shot, basically. And no matter how many times they nerf this and buff this, they do not have the essence of football in their game. That true to life movement, speed of play, weight of the passes, weight of players, like that is only captured by one game, and that is eFootball. Yes, there's a ton of nonsense in eFootball, but because you can capture that magic, it makes it much more enjoyable. It makes the build up, the goals, everything. It makes it more enjoyable. So that empty feeling is because Nick truly loves football. He's truly passionate about the game. You can tell it. That's why he's somebody that I respect and follow, even if I don't agree with him all the time. And so as a true football fan that plays these games to enjoy good football, he's missing that, because what he's playing in FC is 1,000% not football. When he goes and watches as a fan of the game, like I know he does, and then gets out onto the virtual pitch, it's not the same.
Trying out new cards, But I'm just wondering from you guys, if you're watching this video, just get in the comments, let me know what you guys are feeling. And it's not that I'm super demotivated to play this game or anything. That's not accurate, but it's just a weird time in the community. I know that the game every single year, FIFA as a whole, is falling off, and it's just it feels to me now like this game is just super reliant on the big promos. So what's that? That would be, that would be Team of the Year. That would be Black Friday. That would be Christmas promo. That would be Team of the Season. But, is EA really missing the mark on, is something that we've had in previous FIFAs that's been really massive, in my opinion, to the success of the game, which, if you guys know what I'm alluding to here, is it that we're missing something like swaps or monthly rewards? Is that something? Because I think EA...
He talked about how many modes they have, which, again, Konami, eFootball, they need to add more to do, right? But at the same time, EA Sports is oversaturated FC, and what this has caused is an obsession with rewards and putting football second. So that's where even though it might not seem like it be easy, you'll finish your events, finish your divisions. Even I've said it in the past, like there's not enough to do. I'm done with everything, right? But guess what? You just get in and you play more divisions games and you can keep playing football, right? So if Konami adds just a little bit more, then they literally have that perfect equation where football is first. The tactical changes that you make, not only like overall in what you want to play, but every single game you're making these changes based on how your opponent lines up, and then during the game of and substitutions, halftime. That's why there's so much time before and halftime, because they bring in that tactical side of football. None of that exists in FC, right? They have all these modes, they have all, but guess what? Everything's about not even playing football. You want to hurry up and hope your opponent quits so you can get the next objective done, the next rewards done, finish 3 games so you can get that evolution completed. Everything's about finishing and rushing through the football to get back to the menus, which means that you're not enjoying the actual sport that you're playing a simulation of. That's that emptiness, right? So when Nick talks about all the modes are awesome and he's like, what are we missing? Is it swaps? Is it this? No, you have so many modes in FC compared to other. Look at UFL and eFootball. They have nothing compared to FC. There's so much to do that players get overwhelmed, right? So it has nothing to do with this promo missing or this menu thing or whatever. It has to do with the fact that FC is not football. And even when you do end up on the pitch to play your glorified air/ice hockey version of football, you still don't even, it's not even put first. It's put second to rushing through to get through the game, to get to the next game and the next game so you can finish and get your champs rewards, or get through the next game and the next game so you can finish and get whatever rivals, points you have to get those rewards in whatever division you're in. That's all it is rushing through the football to get back to the menus. So not only is the football aspect terrible, the gameplay, right? It's not football at all, but also everybody's obsessed and focused on not even playing football, right? You see the difference? Whereas eFootball, there isn't all these modes, right? All there is to do is go into the next game and the next game, and you'll spend some time setting up your tactics and players and adding skills and stuff, but that's fun because then you go in, and even if you have this set way that you want to play, you're going to end up manipulating it to make it work against each opponent, who's surely going to have different setups, right? You have to mark that big Jan Kohler cross spammer one game and figure out how to do that, but still play good football and beat them. Then the next game, you have someone that's spamming, through balls over and over and over. You have another all-out pressure opponent that's constantly going for tacklebacks and things like that. Whatever it is, right, even through all the nonsense and the smart assist and all that, you're still looking at your tactics, changing them to try to beat these players, all the while, if you're not a rat, trying to play beautiful football. And the thing is, you can play beautiful football in eFootball, whereas FC, you can't, right? You can do a couple of things that simulate, but because the gameplay is so far from it, because, like I said, they don't have the essence of the beautiful game within the gameplay, you're getting that empty feeling because you don't have the ability to have that joy of playing football, right? So despite all the mess in eFootball, because they have the essence of the game at the core, right, you still get that feeling, right, when you have a great build-up, when you beat a ratty player on a beautiful goal that you created. Things like that are why I say eFootball is the future. Nick's literally saying all these things that I've been talking about, just in a different way and just without the promotion of another football game. It's not even promotion, it's just facts. It just so happens to be that I am playing another football game because it truthfully is better football, and it truthfully can and will be the future of football gaming if Konami doesn't self-sabotage, just like EA Sports does. I mean, these football game development companies are ridiculous with it, but because whatever person or people figured out how to get that magic into eFootball at its core, they are the future. FC, they're so far away, they would have to just start from scratch and copy as much as they could from that core feeling, the weight of the passes, the way the players move, the certain animations, The legends in eFootball are done so much more true to what the legends were like in real life, whereas FC missed the mark so bad. Like, congrats, you made them look like the player, but that's where it starts and ends, right? All these things lead to that emptiness Nick is talking about.
They will look at it like, oh, well, we're giving you guys game modes with tournaments, and they're like, well, you nothing ever makes you guys happy. And maybe us in the community, guys, maybe that's true. Like, maybe nothing is actually going to make us happy. But maybe we're missing that extra incentive with the monthly red cards for the team of the weeks. I mean, if you look at the recent team of the weeks, we got a brand new team of the week today. We'll go over it.
We already established that's not true.
Long time going on and try to keep it real. And is there anything they can even do? That's the $1 million question. Is there anything EA can even do? I think today they actually did do an update fixing multi-swap, which is really nice of them actually, because I don't know about you guys, I've been losing my damn mind doing the multi-swap, but yeah, as a creator, it's a weird one, man. It's just like, it's a weird time with this game.
You don't see the problem that as you're talking about what's missing in the game that you're not even playing the game. I mean, throughout this whole video, let's see if there's any gameplay at all. Zero. The whole time you're clicking through menus, packs, and putting players in for SBCs, and always worried about the menu stuff. Not just him, I'm saying that's FC in general. Football is second, right? If this was eFootball, you would be maybe going through making changes to your players, making changes to their builds because you change positions, the positions they're playing, or changes to your tactical setup, right? Having to do with how you're going to perform on the pitch. And then other than that, you would just be waiting to play, or you would be talking while you're playing. Whereas FC, it's nonstop menu stuff, right? Constantly getting the next reward or the next SBC, the next evolution, and every day on repeat, with football being second. So he started this segment, right, with, is there anything that can make us happy? Is there anything EA Sports can do? And then he talked about some menu thing that they changed. But the answer is no. Because in reality, EA Sports is not just going to scratch a game that's so popular that they make so much money on. They're going to keep finagling around, snaking the players like they did this year with telling us the server issues were fixed by doing X, Y, and Z when they truly knew the server issues weren't fixed. Once all the players jumped on after the beta, which was good gameplay, and the Ultimate Edition players, which was way less than the full amount of players at full release. Once full release came, it was right back to normal. Now, when I left, the gameplay was better than it had been in a long time, right? And I went to eFootball, came back briefly because it was good gameplay, and I felt that same thing that Nick felt, right? And it didn't change just because the gameplay got better. I gave FC every chance in the world because, like I said, I like being in control. I don't like all the AI stuff. I don't like a lot of the nonsense Konami and the ratty low-skill player base that eFootball has kind of turned that game into. But once again, I repeat for the millionth time, at the core of both games, on one side, which is eFootball, you have the beautiful game. On the other side, at its core, right, on FC side, you have an arcade game. You have that game when you go in to a bar or an arcade or a movie theater, and there's a bunch of games before you watch the movie, and you play this fast-paced, fun game where you're just button mashing and running through at 100 miles an hour, and like NBA Jam type of football, NFL Blitz type of football for the gamers who know those games. That's what FC is more like, right? But it's not true football. And people who are passionate about the game of football, like myself, like Nick, like Inception, we actually need football when we play a football simulator. That's why it blows my mind that Inception hasn't gone to eFootball. However, he has a big following, he makes a lot of money, and for him it would be harder to switch. Whereas for me, I started at UFL despite being like a FC player for years, and UFL was a new game though, and I believed in it, but they just took too many wrong turns. eFootball, after the debacles that they had year after year after year, going back to PES 6, where they took a hard turn away from such a successful game. Then, once again, creating magic with PES 13 and 2013, which was an incredible game. And once again, after that, they take a hard turn away from all the things that worked. And it's just like, I was done, right? Finally, when they went to eFootball and PS5 and the whole big launch, they had so many bugs it was terrible. And by then it was just like, fool me once, twice, three times, I'm out of here. So is it fair? Maybe not, because EA Sports did plenty wrong and I kept giving them chances. I can't deny that. But either way, at this point, the only game that captures true football at any level is eFootball. So let me know if you agree, disagree. I just wanted to share this because I've been saying this for months, and this is no doubt, even if some of the content creators don't share it, which props to Nick for doing this, they're all feeling the same way. I talked about it, now Nick's talking about it, and the rest, you make no mistake about it, whether they talk about it or not, are feeling that emptiness because they're playing a football simulator that is not football at all. Check out my previous video where I put the clips of a professional FC player next to real life clips of all these legendary players that we use in these games. Then an eFootball clip of, well, several clips of highlights from a top eFootball professional. And you tell me which game is the closest to football. I mean, it is almost laughable when you look at what FC looks like compared to, and what works, and like the mechanics, right, and what these players consider skill in FC compared to what truly is skill in football. But anyway, that's my take. You let me know yours in the comment section. If this video is enjoyable, smash the like button. If you haven't, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Peace.